Moving on, Zomato may be one of the most popular startups in the country and may have a presence across more than 20 countries around the world. But HSBC thinks that it's grossly overvalued. The global brokerage house, which has initiated a coverage over its largest shareholder, Info Edge says, Info Edge's largest shareholder says that none of the verticals are making any profit, means that it doesn't warrant a valuation of $1 billion, a view that's being strongly contested by Info Edge. Joining us now to take this discussion forward is my colleague Adit Charlie from the Bengaluru studios. And we also have CFO of Info Edge, Chintan Thakkar, joining us on the phone line. Chintan, I want to get your immediate sense on what HSBC is saying. They've reduced the target price on Info Edge as well. And of course, more shocking and more headline grabbing has this valuation chop of 50% been on Zomato. What would you say to some of the claims that HSBC is making? They're questioning the viability of the current Zomato business model.
Well, first of all, there are 20 plus analysts who kind of covers us and Zomato in that sense. And they have been covering it from quite some time. HSBC has just begun the coverage, right? And this is probably their first report. And, they have, with all due respect, they have their opinion, but, we really don't agree with that. And we think that, probably there should have been a better understanding of business for Info Edge, for Zomato, as well as the overall internet business, the way it works.
But Chintan, I mean, you might dismiss the report. That's entirely your view. But I just want to take up some of the specific points they are raising and what your counter to that is. On Zomato specifically, the HSBC analysts seem to be a little concerned about how the focus is going to be increasingly on the food delivery business. I understand that I think that part of the business has already broken even. But what about more cash burn and more investments going into that side of the business?
Well, that's why I said that I think there should have been a much better understanding. Food delivery business is not something which is going to contribute very significantly to the overall business of Zomato. Zomato is in a principal business model, revenue model is advertisement, is classified, and that kind of in a way continues, and that's the major piece of that business.
Adit?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chintan. Welcome once again. Just some specific questions, really. I think the report has raised questions about the advertising-centric business model that Zomato has, and also it's touched down on some of the loss-making international operations. Now, we know that about a year back, Zomato had pulled down on some of its international operations and had, reduced its losses. But how do you address these two specific concerns?
Well, you have to understand the business that, when a new site is opened in any new territory, any new city, any new country, there is a gestation period. And it takes a while by the time, you put all the listings on your site, by the time the traffic comes, and then you go out to restaurants and start monetizing it. So obviously the losses that you are seeing is because there was a hectic, market grabbing, that happened. Zomato entered, like 22, 23 countries and started establishing their brand. It has still not reached the stage where everywhere they are monetizing, though there are many countries where they have started monetizing. And there are many countries where actually they are traffic leaders. You would be surprised to know that out of 23 countries, there are 18 countries where now they are traffic leaders. So in some way, Zomato is the first, truly speaking, first Indian global internet product that has gone international. And they have become traffic leader. Now, obviously, there's going to be some time before they start monetizing it. But so far, what we have seen, the markets that they entered earlier, they have started monetizing, very well, and some of the places where we have seen that from the advertising model, in fact, 7 to 8 countries where operationally at the country level, they have even started breaking even, So I don't, see any merit in what has been said over there. As regards to some of the other countries where they would have kind of toned down their operation, primarily is the US. When the Urban Spoon was acquired, the whole idea was that, the Australian asset and the Canadian asset of the Urban Spoon was very attractive for Zomato, and that's the reason that whole acquisition had happened. That was the primary reason. So obviously, US has been toned down, and that's good, because they have taken the burn down, and I think that's a good news actually.
Yeah, if you understand correctly, burn rate has reduced by 70%. and revenues have doubled, in the last 1 year, or in the last 9 months to a year, is what we understand from Zomato CEO Dipinder's blog posting. But in September last year, we had a round of layoffs in the company. So we were keen to understand what really changed in this short period, in this 8 months.
Well, again, I'm saying that the layoff actually was in many ways, from the investment perspective, was the right thing to do. That was consequent to multiple acquisitions that had taken place. And you can imagine that any company that would have gone through this kind of multiple acquisition would be doing some kind of right sizing, would be doing some kind of restructuring, focusing back on what really matters to them. And that's what they have done.
Quickly, one last question from our side. There were some reports that Zomato is looking at a fresh round of money raising. Names like Alibaba were also tossed up. Can you tell us what the latest is on that front?
Well, we think that that Zomato has got sufficient money with them, and they should be able to break even with the money that they are having. Right? Having said that, if there is somebody having a kind of an inbound interest, and which can happen to a company like Zomato, that there can be many more investors who might be interested in it. We always keep talking to many people, but we would really kind of want Zomato to focus on revenue, on getting it to break-even point. That's the direction where we think they should go, and we think that they are going in the right way, and they are on track.
All right, Chintan, we'll leave it on that note. Appreciate you joining us on the show today. So that's the Info Edge view on, of course, the couple of concerns that have been raised in that HSBC report. We'll thank Adit also on that note.